Alan Murphy, Submission Radio, sitting alongside Leah McCourt ahead of her pro debut, long anticipated pro debut. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel really good. I was meant to fight back in March and then had to get hand surgery, so I'm just so excited to get in there.
So what happened with the hand?
I was competing in the IMMAF Worlds in San Francisco in November, and in my first match I was had something in closed guard and went for a Kimura, and their body weight came down and my thumb came off my hand. So I was in my first match. I had 5 matches after that, so I remember thinking, oh my god, I'd never felt pain like it, but I thought it was just like a staved thumb and it's always so bad. But then at the end of January I found out, no, I actually need surgery.
So you've done that in the first match and you battled through it.
Yeah.
And what was the recovery like for that?
It was hard because it's obviously your hand, and I was splint for 6 weeks and then 6 weeks of rehab. It was a horrible feeling in my thumb, like not being able to move it, but it's fine now.
So I just want to go back to the beginning. You started MMA 3 years ago?
My first fight was three years ago. I probably started training MMA about 4 years ago.
What led you to the sport?
After I had my daughter Isabella, I'd always loved boxing and kickboxing, and my background's in judo. When I was a kid I did judo, but after I had Isabella I started like a 6-week kickboxing program, and my friend Ian Young told me to go to Lanka Muay Thai, and I started training there, and then it was only one pad class a week, and then another friend told me to come here, so it just kind of fell into it. And then when I started training in this MMA gym, and some of the boys had heard, I have a background in judo, and I was getting on well with my striking, they thought, why not have a fight?
Yeah. So when you first made the decision to actually step into the ring and have a fight, what was your family's reaction to that?
Yeah, this was at the time where Ronda Rousey was at her biggest, so they were all, and everybody thought MMA was so cool, and they thought I would get in and get out, not get hurt, so that they're still really supportive, but my mum doesn't watch it anymore. But my dad and my sisters, they love it.
So when you first came home and you said to your mum, I'm going to have a fight this weekend or in a couple of weeks, what was her reaction there?
I can't actually really remember. She's probably she's worried, but whatever.
So you've been fighting now 3 years from your first amateur fight. You've been quite successful in that time. You've won the IMMAF Europeans and the Worlds. You want to talk about the experience about going to the Europeans and the Worlds and winning?
Yeah, those IMMAF tournaments are just something else. I remember me and Pat went over to the Europeans, and we didn't know when we were fighting, where we were fighting, what the weight allowance was. It was just chaos, and I remember thinking, if we can get through this, and one fight in one show is going to be so easy. You're winning every single day at the IMMAF tournaments, and you don't know who your opponent is, don't know who you're fighting, don't know. So it's such an amazing experience. But at the time, it's the most stressful experience ever. Even in Vegas, we were waking up am I going to fight today? Do I not need to fight? The communication was a bit, because it was the first tournaments. You weren't really sure what was going on, but it was any amateur should be doing those competitions and tournaments. And I know that there are a lot of money and you have to fundraise or self-fund them to go to them, but the experience is so worth it, and there's massive opportunities coming from it and exposure as well.
So what was the aftermath of you being crowned world champion? So what was the aftermath being like that for you? What was the exposure you got, or the attention that you got? How was that being for you?
Fine. Obviously, the newspapers and television and stuff are interested, and then I've been doing just some interviews with them, but I don't really care. It's the same thing back to gym training for me. It doesn't really make a difference.
There's a thing with MMA, the MMA world now. Men's MMA has been around a long time now. Women's MMA is kind of relatively new in a new sport. So everyone's always on the lookout for who's going to be the next big star, because the talent pool is a little bit thinner than the men's.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you can step up into that now, turning pro?
Yeah. Well, why not? It's every single day I'm in the gym. The only thing I ever care about is getting better and making and improving my skill base. So I don't see why I can't reach the likes of the UFC and go in that direction. I'm in no rush as well. I'm very young in the sport, and I know what I want, and have a clear path that I want to follow. So I'm just worrying about one fight at a time and focusing on that.
Yeah, so your next fight is in Cage Warriors. Do you want to talk about your opponent, who she is, and her background, and what you think of her?
Yeah, so I had a message Graham after I came back from America, Team Alpha Male. I was like, I want to fight as soon as I can, because I went to Team Alpha Male in April, and this was the first time. It was like the first time I had sparred since my hand surgery. So I didn't know what way my hand was going to hold up. So when I was like, oh, I'm getting on really well, I was like, no, okay, I want to fight, because I've been waiting like a year layoff since my last fight. And Graham was like, well, there's maybe cards in London in September. I was like, no, I want to fight sooner. So they got me a fight on the Bournemouth card. I'd asked originally in March. I was meant to fight that girl at uni, and then that was cancelled. And then I had asked for her for this fight in June, but she had another fight planned. But they said we have this other Olympian wanting to make her pro debut as well, and I was like yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, you have to fight anybody. You can't pick and choose, and especially in women's MMA. So I was like, let's go. So I know she's been to the Olympics for judo, and that's all I know really. I think it's going to be a very different experience for her when she's getting in the cage with me, when compared to what she does in the Olympic. Like, a judo match is just so different to MMA. But it's a good match. She'll be aggressive, probably coming forward. She'll be a high level grappler, and I'm a good, my skill base is well rounded and everything. So it's going to be a good fight. I'm really excited.
So you said you started out in judo, and she's...
Yeah. So I started in judo. I never, I'm a black belt in judo, but I never pursued that competitively. I went back to judo and got my belts when I started doing MMA again. So it was like my judo in MMA is better than my judo with a gi on. Like, I'm a lot... I hit throws and boys in the gym all the time, and it's very different grappling. Like, in wrestling, they're going down low, whereas in judo, they're clinching against the cage, trying to go for sweeps and some throws. And I train with Sebastião Torres, who's in the Brazilian Olympic judo squad as well, so I do a lot of grappling with him, so I'm used to that kind of movement.
So do you think your judo is more designed for the MMA than her judo, because she's after training the gi? And
I honestly don't know. I've never seen her fight. I have no idea. But I'm so confident in my skills and my knowledge and my techniques that wherever the fight is, I don't care. I'm going to finish her. Do
you feel any pressure coming into this fight? Like, a lot of people making their pro debut, they've went through like the local amateur scene. But you've had international amateur experience. You're a world champion. Like, is there any pressure on you making your pro debut, or do you feel that at all?
I don't really feel pressure. I more don't want to let my team down, don't want to let my friends, my supporters, my family down. I don't do them proud, because they know what I'm capable of, and they're so confident in me in all areas. So I just want to go out and put on a good show for them.
And just going back to one thing you said there, you were training Team Alpha Male over in Sacramento. What was that experience like? How did that happen? Why did you go there?
Yeah, so when I found out I needed hand surgery, I was like, I just left my job in December, and I got full-time sponsors to help me train, and then in March I was like, I had the hand surgery in February, and then I was like, I need something to look towards. I can't plan a fight because it's too risky. I need to have something to set to aim towards, to be ready for then. If I took a fight, and it would be too hit or miss whether I was able to do it or not. But I was like, right, I'll go and book a 2 weeks in America and go out and test myself and see what. And it was more to see what their training schedule is like, what the intensity of the classes, that type of thing. And it was just an unbelievable experience. Definitely the best thing, one of the best decisions I've made, to go out and see, that the skill level isn't that different. They're obviously, it's such an unbelievable place. Like, I had such a great time with Urijah and all the team, and I was able to spar girls and see what way their camp was set up. But it was definitely a brilliant experience.
So what was Urijah Faber like? You've seen him videos of you in the car with him, like going to and from training. He's so cool. Like, he's so relaxed and laid back, and so focused on his team and everybody growing, and loads of people go out and train there every week, and he's always in chatting to them, just like being so down to earth. And he doesn't need to be. Like, there's people looking after the people that go out and train, but he loves it, and he's just so really good to sit and chat to. We talk to you all day. And would you go back out there again, or have you any plans to kind of spend more time in the US?
Yeah, well, I have a little girl, Isabella, and she's only 6, so leaving her is like, I hate it, but I would definitely love to go back out this summer to Team Alpha Male. We'll see what happens after this fight. I want to fight again in September, so we'll see what the time scale's like.
So Sage Northcutt is supposedly or said to be joining Team Alpha Male. So you called out his sister, or you didn't call her out. You asked to fight her in Titan FC. Like, you want to talk about that? Why you decided to do that?
Like, I don't even care. Like, who even is she? Like, I only was looking for a fight and was like, well, I'll fight her if she. And her opponent hasn't even been announced. Like, who even? Like, don't care at all. Like, I'd fight anybody, and I was just looking for a fight. So I said, well, she'd be a good fight.
So she could have been anyone at that stage, wasn't just okay. And like if you were to choose, like, would you fight her in September, like, or would you like to fight in America?
I don't really care where I'd fight or who. I actually don't care who I would fight or where, as long as I get to fight again. I want to keep active because I've been off for a year, and I want to keep moving my weight down to bantamweight as well. So the more I can get fights, the better.
So often would you like to fight, ideally?
How often? Probably every 3 months. Like in the next year or two, definitely, yeah.
And like, I like asking fighters about their future, but you don't want to make a fighter think past their opponent. Like you have a tough opponent now, like next Saturday. Like, if you were to map things out for your career, how far down or many fights would you like to be in the UFC by, or would it matter to your skill set or where you are at that particular time?
I don't really want to look at it as fights. I would like to, down the road, I see myself as maybe, if there's the bantamweight Cage Warriors World Champion, I would like to do that first and then move to the UFC. As I said, I'm so young in this sport, I'm not going to be like, I want 3 fights to get in the UFC, but whatever happens, happens. I want to fight as much as I can and win every fight, and that's the most important thing for me, and then obviously go to the UFC and be the best in the world.